So last week I was watching repeats of the BBC sitcom Last of the Summer Wine with my nana, and I found myself counting the number of moments in scenes, various scenes, where I thought, oh, you couldn't say that now, or the BBC wouldn't dare commission this nowadays, whether that be the lack of health and safety in the early 1973 iteration, or Compo's immediate cancellation as part of the hashtag #MeToo trend for his unwanted advances towards the Northern icon Nora Baddy. It's truly, I think, a sad reality that in spending time with my nana, enjoying the classics that she remembers from the first run on telly, I would be so alive, actually, to the stifling of risk, of drama, of comedy, and frankly, the fun from modern-day television. We now live in an era where disclaimer dullards seek to censor our past and our iconic shows. They're the products of a bygone era now, folks. We've seen over recent times Orwell's 1984 issued with a trigger warning, which is frankly beyond parody, and these people could do with reading it. We've seen Disney Plus placing offensive content warnings on The Muppets show. I know who the Muppets are in my view. A student bombarded with accusations of being a racist for saying "Rule Britannia." Another pursued for declaring that only women have vaginas. And a school chaplain reported to the Anti-Extremism Prevent programme for questioning identity politics. It really does beggar belief. This is all a hysterical campaign by those who purport to champion every form of diversity other than the diversity of thought. All whilst the former president of the free world is banished by tech giants while the Taliban remain on their platforms. I don't think we're in a good place as far as robust defence of free expression is concerned, whether it be in our corporations, our media, our universities, our workplaces. I truly believe, folks, that free speech in this country is in peril. And that's the case I want to make to you today. The only way to defeat bad ideas and bad arguments is to allow them to be visible and to hear them, and then to challenge them head on. The only way that we can create a more quote-unquote tolerant society is to actually vaccinate the perpetually offended with a dose of polite and reasoned disagreement. Recent examples include a pretty terrible and tasteless joke by the comedian Jimmy Carr on the Holocaust and the US actress and talk show host Whoopi Goldberg, who rightly received huge backlash for saying the Holocaust wasn't about race. But what if we just outright censored their speech? What if Carr and Goldberg were left to make such remarks on new spaces created to avoid the censorious modern-day internet? If you don't challenge the view, you allow it to grow and to fester elsewhere. It reminds me of attempts to shut down the tabloid press for disinformation. When a government or a celebrity didn't like a story that attacked a newspaper. Who's the arbiter of truth here? Who gets to decide what is and isn't censorship-worthy disinformation? In the past, if you said homosexuality wasn't a mental illness, or had you, at the start of the pandemic, argued in favour of mask wearing, you'd have been told that you were spreading public health disinformation and have your speech prohibited. This is nonsense. We are fundamentally stripping the public of their right to their agency, to make their own decisions and to reach their own conclusions. In modern Britain, we hear of people being offended on other people's behalf. How about you mind your own business, frankly, and find something better to do with your life? This paternalistic and patronising quest to destroy free expression, a fundamental pillar of any free and liberal society, in the name of defeating whatever Islamophobia you can think of, well, folks, this won't end well. President Obama, he said in 2012, I nearly said there, misgendering the former president of the free world, he said efforts to restrict speech can quickly become a tool to silence critics and oppress minorities. He went on to say that the strongest weapon against hateful speech isn't repression, it's more speech. And I think he's exactly right. And almost 1 decade on from that speech, we need to start advocating more speech as the answer to advancing discussion and debate, not legislating to suppress it.